Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Saturday to you. I hope you're doing well. We are getting the stream kicked off here. I'm super excited to learn some Python this evening with you guys. Today is December the 21st, 2024. We have 4 days till Christmas. 4 days till Christmas. You heard it here first. 4 days. 4 days left. Uh, I'm not decided yet if I'm going to do a Christmas live stream. I'm still in the in the air with that one. Please let me know if that you're interested in something like that. But hello, General Talks. Welcome, welcome. Good to hear from you. Happy Saturday. How are you doing today? We have the mood set for this evening. We got the incense burning. We got the lava lamp lit. Hopefully, this wax will start to melt soon enough. And then we have we got the book set up. It's all good. For me, it's three. You're the whole day ahead of me. Oh boy. It's the 21st, so 4 days would be three. 3 days from now would be this case. That's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, so it has to be 4 days for me. Okay. Anyways, if you guys remember last time, we finished chapter 5. Woo! Finished chapter 5 on arrays, dynamic arrays. Um, we learned about, let's just quickly go over the notes. So we learned about what a bit was. It's the smallest representation of data that the computer can read, probably at the processor level, in the form of zeros and ones. And these various forms of zeros and ones make up a byte, a group of 8 bits, right? So, which often represent a single character or a small amount of data. Then we know that we learned also that variables, objects, arrays, anything you kind of create within the code will have some sort of memory address associated with where it's located in the system's memory. And we use the random access memory to quickly locate things via their memory address. And I think the random access memory is what just kind of saves things on the deck so that they can quickly be accessed in and out. I'm not exactly sure the ins and outs, I'm not a computer scientist, but that's kind of what I am interpreting. And then we understood that an array was a group of variables that were stored in continuously and in the computer's memory. So they filled a series of bytes that took up various amounts of data. The array itself increased in size. The actual increase in size of the array is what depends on the array's data, the data size of the array, not the actual elements that are inside the array. But those are independent. Those are stored at a different memory address that we are just referencing within the array. The array, as it grows in size, the actual size of the array, the available slots is what we measure the array memory or size as, right? Okay. Um, pardon me. I'm doing fine. I mean, I realized my brother's birthday is on the 25th, too. I remember Christmas, not only my brother's birthday. Wild. Awesome. Well, that sounds like you got a lot busy and a lot of festivity planned. That sounds great. We learned about, in 5.1, I didn't take that great of notes, but I need to go back and maybe do a little bit better job taking notes here. In 5, oh, we also need to let the Discord know that we are live here. So let me go ahead and do that. Yes. All right. Boom. All right. Cool. All right. We learned what low-level arrays were. Low-level arrays were fixed in size. The size of the array is typically defined when it's created and cannot be changed dynamically. We learned that these are contiguous in memory allocation. Elements are stored consecutively in memory locations, allowing for fast access using an index. We have homogeneous elements, so this means they are all the same data type. We have manual memory management in languages like C and C++. Developers manually allocate and deallocate memory. These are efficiently accessed Because they are contiguous in memory layout, we can access them constantly in O of 1, right? They lack a built-in safety. Many low-level arrays do not perform bound checking, meaning accessing elements outside the allocated range can lead to undefined behavior. We learned that bytes can be accessed by a computer through its RAM, random access memory, via its memory address, right? An individual byte of memory can be stored or accessed in O of 1 time. So that's like accessing variable information and things like that. Or, certain aspects within a list or array. We learned that text characters, can take up to 16 bits or 2 bytes of memory per character. So like the sample having 6 characters, 2 bytes each, would be the total 12 bytes total for the string array, using the Unicode Python that it does, right? Then we learned that compact arrays were a way to organize data in a more memory efficient manner by using the minimum amount of space needed to store the values. Instead of leaving gaps or unused memory, it keeps the data tightly packed together. So this just doesn't have any, allow room for, growth. But now we learned about dynamic arrays. So these are all types of low-level arrays, right? Dynamic arrays were interesting because what was interesting with dynamic arrays was, pardon me, in dynamic arrays, the computer or Python itself tells the computer to, okay, we have a list being created. Let's just create a little bit of free space at the tail end of the list just so that we can allow the user to append or, insert items into the list. And we don't have to, create a new list in memory every single time, as we would for these low-level arrays or compact arrays where we don't leave any additional space. So the dynamic array, creates that additional tail space, leaving some, blanks that we can then store some information in. Now, of course, when we fill that up and we realize that the length of n, or the length of the array, n in this case, is at capacity of the dynamic array, we have to call a function like it showed us in that dynamic array example within chapter 5. We call a function to actually create a new array in memory, and that would increase the size. We copy the references of the objects that were in the original array to those same indexes, starting from index 0 and onward up to k, where up to n, where of the previous array size, right? We'll leave that as k for now. And so now we have n minus k, which happens to be the remaining trail space of this new array. So the dynamic array just gets updated accordingly. Now it was noted, right? Let me catch my breath here, talking real fast. It was noted that the elements inside of the arrays themselves, the data size or memory capacity of those elements are just references to some other location where they're stored in the system. So the array size itself, as it grows dynamically, is only dependent on just those slots, right? Those openings as it increases. So the first array can have 10 items, the second array can have 15, the third array can have 25, and so on and so forth. Well, the individual elements in those 25 slots are referenced in memory somewhere else. So it does not account for the total size capacity of the array in memory, right? So that's something to note. If I got that wrong, please let me know. I would, appreciate if I have no problem being corrected. Honestly, I much rather get the right information and be providing, not providing. And like I say with you guys, take this with a grain of salt. I'm learning this, but and we're learning this together. So yeah, that's just what I interpreted from the reading last time. All right, let's get caught up on the chat here. Sorry, guys. Naaman Rowett says, hello, how has your day been? It's been good. I have, we stopped this morning, just went out to a little bit of like a market area, got some lunch. It was good. And then came back and hung out for a little bit and cleaned up, and now ready to stream and feeling good. Gonna stream for a few hours this evening. And then tomorrow we will stream for probably even a little bit longer tomorrow. I like to do long streams on Sundays because I just like to get a lot of personal work done on Sundays. Saturdays I like to maybe go out a little bit in the mornings. Yeah, I hope you're doing great. Thanks so much for joining. How have you been? Wing Hong is it? Hey, how's it going? It's so good to hear from you. Welcome back. Jeremy says the stream streak is crazy. Yes, I know. I've been on a stream. I know, but we got Christmas coming up, so I'm in a pickle, everybody. I'm not sure what to do. I should I stream on Christmas for a little bit and at least hop on and do maybe like 45 minutes to an hour and a half, really quick. Hey, Dat Steel, welcome back. I appreciate you coming in. It's good to so good to hear from you. Okay, let's jump into some practice problems here for 5-7. So R 5-7 key dot pi. Oh, not 5-7. What am I doing? Rename 5. We'll just 5-1. Cool. Oh, wrong text. Wrong. Got a typo. Dot pi. All right, here we go. So a swig here. All right. This is what we want to do here. Execute the experiment from code fragment 5.1. Compare the results on your system to those we report in code fragment 5.2. Okay, let's go find code fragment 5.1. This is code fragment 5.11. It's going to be way back here, guys. Sorry. Quickly. 5.4, table 5.3, table 5.2, code fragment 5.4. Code fragment 3, code fragment 1. Here we go. So we're going to go here. Let's go sys. We're going to go data is equal to some length, some list, right? And we're going to say 4k in the range of n, so the length of the total amount of data provided by the function. We are going to then say a is equal to the length of the data. B is equal to the sys dot get size of the data. So we're getting the size of at each time for B, and we're going to say print quote length 0 3D size in bytes. Like this, then like this one, 4D close quote dot format A and B, like so. Okay, and then data dot append none. So just append none to each list. Okay, let's go clear this out, and let's run this. Oh, we need to actually call something here, right? Yeah, so we need to call something here. So say wait, what's going on here? Import. We're not giving an n, right? We need to give an n. Okay, we need a length here. Let's give 0. Okay, so 0 doesn't do anything. 1. Boom, 56. Okay. 2. 88. 3. 88. 4. 88. 5, 88. Okay, we're going to switch here. 6, 120. Okay, so my system reserves a little less space at the beginning, or it takes less bytes to store as much data as this one. Interesting. So I wonder why that is. Is it our memory is just more optimized, or what would cause a system to have a faster, or I mean not faster, a lower amount of memory used for the same you know, allocations of space in another system? Would it be just better memory improvements, faster memory? Would it be, you know, I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna paste it into here as like that. That was my okay, I like comments. That was my answers, right? So what about so observation, right? My system, Apple MacBook Pro, M3 Pro, right? 2023 uses slightly less memory for the same capacity as that of the book example. Interesting. Cool. And yeah, that's just interesting. Little observation. Okay, that's done with the first problem. Let's go down here. Okay. In code fragment 5.1, we perform. Okay, so yeah, execute an experiment. Execute the experiment from 5.1. Compare the results in your system. Okay, gotcha. In code fragment 5.1, we perform an experiment to compare the length of a Python list to its underlying memory usage. Wing Hong says, sorry, what was the 03D and what was 04D? I'm really bad at the dot format method because I use f string. So I think the dot format method just places these values of these variables in there as if we were using f strings, right? It just takes A and puts it in the spot, it takes B and puts it in the spot. But then we're doing some sort of rounding or something, there's some sort of spacing going on here that's being carried over for each time, like a 2-gap or 3-gap. So I'm not exactly sure these rounding rules. I use the f string, yeah. I never have used the dot format method. In CS50, we always stuck with the f string. I should probably get more familiar on what these string, you know, you know, delineations or whatever are. I'm not sure. That's the right word. Okay. Yeah, number of spaces out front, 3, 4. This has 1, 2, 3 though. This one has 1, 2, 2 though in this case. So it's just interesting. Like it's not really consistent. And why would this be? Is this variable 0? This is variable 1. Let's see, what does the hover say? Come on, give me the... Come on, where's my little hover thing? Give me it. It's not going to do it for me now. It's camera shy. Ah, okay, whatever. Let's keep going, you guys. In code fragment 5.1, we perform an experiment to compare the length of a Python list to its underlying memory usage. Exactly. Determining the sequence of array sizes requires a manual inspection of the output of the program. Redesign the experiment so that the program outputs only those values of k at which the existing capacity is exhausted. For example, on a system consistent with the results of code fragment 5.2, your program should output the sequence of array capacities are 0, 4, 8, 16, and 25. Okay, hold on. Let's go r 5.2 underscore key dot pi. Let's take this guy. Like so. Okay, now let's go up to those code fragments again. Here we go. So code fragment 5.2. So, for example, on a system consistent with the results, your program should output the sequence of arrays are capacities. So we want to use this method or this function here from before, create a condition saying, if the byte size has increased, then return length, right, into some sort of array. Okay, so let's take our function here from previously, the previous example, previous problem, and then we're going to say for range 0 to, we'll go 26 like they did, or 27, right, because it won't do 26. Okay, we're going to say print this. So we don't want to print this. We want to say if b we're going to say for k in range, hold on, so what they're doing is they're printing and then appending none beforehand. So if I just run this, we get this. So how could we manipulate this to detect when b is changed? So what can we do? We'll say we need another tracker of b. So we'll do this and say for value in b, no. So it's going to do this loop for every value. So we need to do a check here. Say if b, right? So could we do this recursively, right? Could we do that? So we need to make this like a function, like def get size. It takes in n. I'll make this n plus 1. Put this in the function. Okay. So for k in the range of 0 to n plus 1, we want to say, oh, I'm blanking here. What do you guys think? What kind of check can we call on B here to determine if it has changed from the previous iteration? We need to set B outside of the for loop. B equals none here. Or B equals B. I don't know. What can we call this? Like, big B is equal to none. And say, right, so we'll store B in a variable here. If B so we need to set B equal to B. Set set B equal, big B is equal to B in this case. And so then after that, we need to check, say, no, we need to do the, say here, if B is not equal to little b, right, then we'd say, okay, B has changed, so we need to B list is equal to list here. Right, so if B is not equal to B, then that else will set B equal to it. Append B. So let's think about this. So it'll first give us the value. Let's look at our program here. It'll first give us the value of 56 for bytes. It'll save B, and we need to do a saving of B okay, so it'll say, well, it'll take B is equal to 56 here. It'll say if B is not equal to big B, well, big B is none, so it will do this. It'll append it. Boom. That gets appended. Else, and then we need to set big B to be here as well. Right? So big B is the current one it's on. So that gets set to 56 right away. So then it'll say if, and then it'll get hit with 88. It'll say, okay, 88. Right now we have 56 saved here. Right, we have 56 saved right here. This is 56 is not equal to 88. So we're going to append not big B, we're going to append little b, right? Because we're appending the new one that's generated. And then we're setting here. So then we're just going to print we're going to come here and do get, we're going to, at the end of this loop, we're going to return b list, right? And we're going to print b, or print get size of 26. Okay, so let's think about this one more time. We are first going to load up the function. B is set, big B is set to none. We are going to loop through, initiate a length. Oh, data was inside of our function though, right? Length data. So we need data to go inside of our function too. Like so. So we have, what's going on here? Let's think. 0 is loaded up for B. There's nothing. So 56 is immediately taken by B here. If none is not equal to 56, well, that is true. So we're going to go ahead and do this append of 56 to the B list, right? We're going to do the next iteration, and we're going to set the 56 to here. We're going to do the next iteration, 88. 88 is going to come in. Boom, 88 gets saved here. If 56 is not equal to 88, do this. Well, that's true, so we're going to do this. We're going to append 88 to the list, and then go ahead and set 88. So if it is equal to it, now we're getting 88 again. We got 88, well, this is false, else, boom, we're going to just append none to the data. Well, we need to also append none to data as well. We need to do an append here as well, right? We have to increase the list here as well. So I definitely think we could do this recursively, you guys. Like, it definitely, I think we'd have to think about it, but it seems possible, right, to check these values recursively. So we need to do an append here of none, so we keep going up in size to our data list. We're also appending if we don't get this as well. So now let's see what happens if we run this. Fingers crossed. Oh my gosh, did I do that first try? Come on. Let's go. Okay, so 56, 88, 120, 248, 312. Oh my gosh. Come on, you guys. We are doing it. We are working our way up. Oh, that's awesome. DJ Batman, welcome, welcome. Perfect timing. Perfect timing in. We just, okay, cool. So we got this to work. Now, you guys, I wonder, should we try to do this recursively? Do you guys think it's worth it? Is it worth it? What size is the monitor I'm using? I think it's 27 inches. think it's 27, and then I just have my MacBook, which is 14 here. Thank you guys for the congrats. Yes, we did together. PJ, thank you for the suggestion. Store B, use if statements to compare. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Just like we did. Awesome. Okay, should we try to do this recursively now? Oh boy. Okay, so we know that we're going to be replacing the for loop with a recursion call of get size n. And we're going to take n, and n has to decrease each time. Okay, let's all right, well, we can give it a shot. I don't know if we'll be any good at this, but let's give it a shot. Okay, def get size of n. Get size change, or get size n. We'll do change, right? Because the previous one was get size. This is get size change of n. Okay, so we first are going to have some data list, right? We then have the list of b values that we have. And we initially set b is equal to none. Yeah, which is our counter. But maybe we don't need this because we're going to return b to the previous thing. So let's just leave this off for now. So our base case is if n is equal to 0, meaning that we have went through the lengths. We have added 26 items to our length. So if n is equal to 1, 1 meaning one value left in our list of a length of 1, we're going to return 56, right? So we're going to return if n is equal to a length of n is equal to 1 for a length of 0, so we need to return n is equal to 0. Okay, that's our base case. N is equal to 0 is 56. We return, what are we returning? We're returning b, right? In this case. Now let's keep going. That's our, okay. Now we're getting to our for loop, where we'll say, we're going to call get size change of n minus 1. So we're going to decrease n all the way down to 0. That's going to return 56. What do we need to do? We need to say if get size n, right, which is the b value, is not equal to the current b value, the current, so our else statement will be, else we need to do the following. A is equal to the length of data. So we need to add these back in, right? And then we need to do b is equal to sys.get size of data. So what this is going to do, this is going to get size of data. So we don't want to get size of data. We want to get size of n. which is the length of data. So we don't even need the data list here. We don't even need the length of data. We just need to get the size of n in this case. Okay? And this is going to be set to big B at this point. Or we'll set it to B just to be consistent, right? So we're going to get the size of n at this current point. So initially it's going to be 26. So we'll get the size of B at 26. So we need to append So we need to, we're getting size of n, so 26 gets loaded up into here. We get size of 26, but that's not 26. We want to get size of the array with 26 values in it, which is data. So we need to get a list of n. Right? So this will get a size of a list of n, which will be data, which in this case would be B. So let's go to list of 26. But this is going to list 26, not the integer 26. We need to do n times none, right? Hey, I'm on stream. I stuck the thing under the thing to keep the air in. I stuck the mat under the door to keep the air out. Okay, so we need to multiply n by none here to get none, values in this list. None n values in this list, okay? Sorry guys, my girlfriend came home. She just came home from shopping. All right, so 26 is loaded up here. We take 26 and we determine if n is 20 and 0, no, n is 26. So we're going to do this else statement. We're going to save some b, but we're going to get the size of 26 values of none inside this, right, using sys.get size of. B will be saved as 312. Okay, 312 will be saved here as B. We will then call recursion for one deeper as this and say if the recursion is not equal to B, right, meaning that it's changed, we are going to do B list dot append B here, right? Meaning that this is a different value. And then I think that's it. Can we not just, and then we just need to say at the end of this statement, return return B list. So 26 is returned. No, I'm not sure. We need to return. Okay, so we're close. We're really close, I feel like. So we're getting the size of 26 initially. 26 gets loaded up into here. We make 26 none values in this list. We get the size of it. We save it to B. That would be 312 bytes. If the recursion is not equal to the recursion of 25, the size of, right, which will be, no, not equal to 25, is equal to, not equal to, so in this case it'll be 312. We're going to append and then we need to, so after we append the value, if it is, we need to return list B each time gets returned back to us. I don't know, is this, I feel like this isn't right, but I'm gonna give it a shot here. Int and none type. Okay, so we need to do actually like this, sorry. None inside the list times n, like so. Now if we do this, return B, cannot access local variable B was not associated with the value. Return ooh, okay. So we can't return just B here. We need to return B list index what is the return type of the function? So we're returning, that's what I'm trying to, so, right, we wrote the function appropriately up here using a for loop, and now I'm trying to do it using recursion just to get some extra practice. Now this is completely unnecessary, we've already solved the problem, but I felt like we could do it using recursion, which was chapter 4, the previous chapter. So we are trying to just return the value if the bytes of has changed as we increase the size of the list. So 26 gets loaded up into this, right, from our previous example here. I'm going to take this and copy it into this here. And then, hold on, sorry. Cool. So 26 would get loaded up. It would return the value 32. 25 gets loaded up, it would return the value 32. Those get evaluated if they're different. This one gets saved. If it's different, hey Tanmay, I appreciate you coming in and saying hello. How you doing today? How you doing? We're working on a recursion problem. We are working on a self-inflicted recursion problem here. We solve this problem using a for loop, and it's just a, checking over lists and stuff, but I wanted to try this with a recursion method here. So if n equals 0, we need to return what? The value in bytes that this is currently at. Which would be the get size chain, which would be sys.get size of none. Right? Size of just a list of none. Right? So if n is equal to 0, we're going to return the value of 56, right? That'll get returned here. to this function. Now let's see if that works. 264, okay. We're getting there, okay. So what happened here? 264. 264. What? 264? That wasn't even in our values originally. Okay. What's going on here? Let's walk this through with our whiteboard. Oh my gosh. Type, type, type. Come on, Mike. It's okay. So we're getting size. Let's just do get size of 3. We're calling get size change of 3. Okay. What's happening here? We are saving. Okay, we need to do this. Let's save B up here. Let's return B here. Get rid of this in this statement. Return. So B will get returned here. If that's not equal to B at this current step, we append this and return the B list to the previous recursion step. I don't think we want to return the B list. We want to return the value. Return Chris Griffin. Let's see. I'm gonna try to give my best Chris voice. No. Oh, come on. Don't shy away here. This is the moment. Okay. What does Chris say? He says like, you can't have her. What does he say? Make. I can't do it. That voice is so unique. I wish I could do it. It's so funny. That was probably so cringe. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Hey, first time subscriber here. I think this channel is awesome. It helps motivate me to keep learning. How long have you been learning Python for? Wait, thank you so much for such the kind words. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I've been learning Python for a little over, let me bring that back, a little over 6 months here. I started at the end of June, or end of May, beginning of June 2024 with Harvard CS50P. I then did that for 3 months very casually over the summer, and then at the end of summer, August, beginning of September 2024. Oh, did I say 2023 before? I meant 2024. Um, uh, this past August, I submitted the final project, and it really sparked a fire, and I was like, wow, I can really do some stuff with this. And so, um, it was. I saw your comment about the impressionist. It's making me laugh. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for subscribing too. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. That's honestly, it means so much. You guys are following along and enjoying this, and it helps motivate me like tremendously to get back and do these streams and want to keep learning, and it's all with you guys. So, um, yeah, so then I started making some beginner projects after I released the CS50P independently, and I was like, man, I want to learn more, so I created this channel. I started streaming and started reading books. I read the Python crash course and I'm going back through it and releasing solutions to the problems that I solved in the text when I read through it live on stream the first time. And so I just released one today. So if you want to check that out, sorry, I'm talking a lot. Um, so yeah, check that out if you want to see that one that I released today. It was a really cool one. It talks about indexing into lists a little bit, gets you like that familiarity with index notation with f strings. It's a really good warm up and introduction to that type of notation, and it kind of levels up quite quickly. Um, anyways, yeah, thank you so much for your question. And is this my first language? Yes, it is. I've only really I know a little bit of HTML and CSS, but I am only really familiar with Python, and I've really been trying to. My motto and my methodology behind this is that I want to gain a mastery in one language before I branch off into others. I feel that people branch off maybe too quickly in a goal of maybe pleasing maybe employers or resumes and try to boast their maybe like their numbers and what they know, but do they truly know those languages in and out? Probably not. At the end of the day, it takes hours and hours and hours to master one thing, and a lot of people claim that they have experience in all of these things, but what does that truly mean? So I wanted to gain an actual like expertise per se, like for lack of better words. I'm really trying my best to just commit to this one language and really learn all the ins and outs of it. Anderson, you guys like the impressions. Buzzlar, I have a question I want to ask you. Have you ever tried using Vim instead of VS Code? No, I started out with PyCharm, coincidentally, funny enough. That was the first IDE I downloaded. I wrote like one little line in it, and I was like, I don't really know what's going on. So I started looking up things, and people recommended this, and then CS50P modeled after VS Code. So that's kind of what I stuck with from there. So yeah. Thank you so much for your question. Okay, so we don't else we're if we were turning the value here. So let's get returned now. 264 still. So we don't want to return the list. If get size chain is this append. What do you guys think? Any ideas how we could solve this one from here? So what we're doing is we're taking in a value of n, we're reducing it down, and we're checking, we're returning b at this point. So b will be so it's supposed to return a list. We're supposed to get a list of all of the values like we did in this function. Here, let me comment out this function, and let me comment in this function. So this is what initially it's supposed to give us all the values that change. So I'll clear here, and then I'll run. As you can see, we wrote a appropriate function using a for loop for returning all of the values that indicate a change happening when we increase the value of our list, our you know the values inside of our lists, the capacity of our list rather. So in this function, now we're trying to do it recursively to get some additional practice here. So we are taking n, we are creating a variable b by getting the get size of and using n in the none in the list and multiplying it by n. So we're getting, if n is 26, we get 26 nuns inside of this list, and we get b is equal to the value of 312. Okay, b is, so we're not going to get met this statement, we're going to get past this statement, so we need to do the comparison. Yeah, I think that's what's happening here, Tamme, is the B list is just getting overwritten in every function call and something's going on exactly. So we don't need to, we need to return the value and append it to the list at every call. So if the recursion of the next size down is not equal to that current call, we're going to so can I say like this? We'll say return m, and then instead of this, we're going to return list outside of the function. So we're assigning the variable m to what is being happening inside of this function. Right? And then we're returning it if it doesn't equal b here. Now I'm not sure if this is the correct use of the walrus operator. I always think I'm using it right, but I'm not using it right. If you keep b list outside the function as a global variable or pass it into the function and check if the current value is equal to the last value in b list, then output accordingly. If you keep b list outside the function as a global variable, now I want to keep it inside the function. I want to keep everything inside the function. So we'll say, or pass it into the function and check to see if the value is equal to the last value in b list. Return n and some list. We passed in a list here. Can we even do that? We don't want to pass in a list to some function, so we want to pass in like, what is it? I'll just do L. So B list would equal to L. L is equal to a list that's passed in. So can I initially set this equal to none for default? And then it gets overridden here as a list. Then we need to return M. No, so then we'll say no, we need to say L gets passed in. I'm trying to think, like, what if I'm not trying to, like, we obviously tailor it to our specific example, but like in terms of like a global use case, like they would have to pass in a list for L, a blank list, right? So would this even work? We would return M. M would be returned. Yeah, I need to get better at the type annotations for sure. So get size change of 3. What's happening here? We are coming down, calling get size change of n minus 1. I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, we're submitting some value n. Within our function. Yes, exactly, Tenmei. You're trying to detect that there's a change in the sizes and then output all the sizes in a list, right? Exactly. Yes. So n is the total value. So b gets calculated, you calculating the value of none n's, right? Or n nones. So 26 gets loaded up, 312 gets saved here. We pass over this, we run this if statement. If b, right, if b that we calculated is not equal to the get size change of n minus 1, we're going to return a list. How about we do this? Let's try this. How about this? Let's try this. Return a list comprehension of b if like so. Return a list of b if b is not equal to the get size change of n. Yeah, get size change of list n to get size change of list of n minus 1. So let's think here. So GSC2 is called, and then GSC3 is called. Okay? At GSC3, hold on. Let's do 26 GSC 25 and GSC 24. Right? So 24 will return 248. So 248 is returned here. Okay. And just for example, base case, if length 24 was our base case, 248 is returned. For this function, which was n minus 1, right? This is n minus 2, right? So for this function, 248 is returned to it as it, right? We check if 248 that's returned, if it's not equal to b at this point, right? The bytes at this step. If it is, we return. We do not, if it is not equal to it, if it is equal to it, we want to just keep going. If it's not equal to it, we need to return. We need to save this value 248 and return the new value. So if b not equal to the get size change of n minus 1, right, we need to then return b, else return b, else return a get size change of n minus 1. Like this. So this will return the new value. So we don't want to return the new value. When you return the new value in a list, right, return b plus, right, whatever current list value we have, the big B list, right, which we initialized here as a blank list, right? So every time we're going to add that B to it. Else, no, I don't think we want to do this. Yeah, I'm not like you're saying, PJ, it's kind of hard. This one might not be geared toward recursion. I just felt like maybe we could try it, right? But it's looking like it's getting a lot harder than we think. So we want to take a B list initialized. We return append it to the list. No, it's not right. So this would append so if B is not equal to this change, right? If it's not equal to it, we need to take the 248, save it in the B list, and then take this value and move on. I want to see what the almighty orb has to say before we move on, because we've already solved this problem how it's intended, but just for fun we've been trying this, right? Just for fun. if n equals 0, a list should be returned, right? So return B in a list, right? Or return B in a list where that will be here if get size so this will be returned as a list now. Okay, yeah, so return it as a list. If B does not equal to the, we have to index into this list, right? But the value will change depending on if there is a count. If beta is sub 0. N is not a list though. Oh, this is tough, guys. Hey, Chief Slice, welcome in. How you doing? Welcome back. So, let's ask here. I am trying to write a recursive function for, I'm trying to write a recursive function for getting, or using the sys.getSizeOf to return all the values return all the values. Okay, it's gonna get what I'm trying to say if I just do this. So don't show me code. I am trying. Where am I wrong? Your code has a few issues to prevent it from functioning as intended. Let's walk through the problem step by step. Empty B list. In your implementation, you create a list, B list, but never add anything to it, even though you try to append B to it and return B list. This list itself remains unused and empty, so the concatenation doesn't achieve anything. Recursive call issue. You're calling get size n-1 to compare sizes, but you're not properly accessing the return item, accessing the return size to perform the comparison. Specifically, get size change n-1 returns a list, not a size value. So B is always true compares integer to a list. Return type, eliminate B list. So okay, yeah, we need to eliminate. Oh, come on, eliminate the B list, right? Properly manage recursive calls for size values. Ensure that return type is consistent. So return, we just want to return B. Say this, okay. Don't show me code. Okay. When you make the recursive call, the get size change is returns the size for n-1, but you're not properly utilizing it. You're directly comparing the size B with the return value without considering how to accumulate or store these changes. Tracking changes. If your goal is to track changes as n increases, you need a way to collect the sizes. However, your current implementation is a final return. Start with a base case ready 0. Gives you the size of an empty list. I am wanting to return a list of values where the bytes changed as the list gained none and increased decreased as n increases for list none times n on every n-1 recursive call. To return a list of values where the size in bytes changes as n increases for none times n, your recursive function needs to compare sizes across recursion. After each call should compute the size of the current n and compare it to the size of n-1 to detect the changes. Accumulate changes in a list. When the size changes, append it to the list values to accumulate these changes. Return ensure the function returns a list even from the base case, so the person can probably accumulate results. Yeah, okay, so when we reach a base case of b of 0, we need to return an empty list. And we need to, can we append here? Append to it b, right? B is going to be added. No. Okay, just empty list. Okay. Return empty list. So an empty list will be returned here. Hey Vance, welcome in. How you doing? Welcome back. Okay, so an empty list is being returned here when we met our base case. Make a recursive call to process. Make a recursive call to process n-1. So we're going to make the recursive call to process this. The recursive call will be the list of sizes or change we're detecting. Comparison logic. Compute the size for none times n. Compare it to the size of n times n-1 for the last element in the recursive result. So else, we're going to get the size of n. We're also going to get the size of b. I'm going to save this as list b's is equal to this, and b is equal to that. All right. be the size, compare it to get size of B. This returns a list. You know, I don't know. Should we just move on? We've already solved the problem. I mean, we're just doing this for giggles, right? Should we just move on and call the comparison function for n and compare it to n minus 1? This returns a list. B. We want to, if B at this point is not equal to the sys dot get size of n minus 1, we're going to return list B dot append B, else if it does equal it, we're going to do nothing, just keep moving on. Yeah, this is of n, right? Exactly. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. Yeah, exactly, PJ. So then, now what? Let's take this guy and put it here. Your code has a few issues primitive function, misuse the append, modifies the list in place where returns none. When you return the size of the integer n minus 1, this is not meaningful in context tracking the list redundant size collection. Oh, whoops, yeah, I don't need it there. Use a consistent list returning approach when building upon the result of the recursive call. Compare B current result, current size with the size of none times n minus 1, the size from the previous. No, from the recursive result. This returns an empty list. Ugh, I'm struggling. Anyway, I don't know, I think we should move on. This is kind of, honestly, not really helpful at this point. You know. So I am returning a list every time, right? Yes, to ensure you're always returning lists, here's a conceptual approach. If n is equal to return an empty list, if n is greater than 0, recursively call the function with n minus 1 to get the list of sizes where changes were already detected. Comparison, compute the size of none B and compare it to the last size recorded in the recursive call. If the list is empty, the base case, there's no need for comparison. Update the list. If B is different, so if else, get this. Just keep returning a list. So comparison. We're so close, I feel like, though. Compute the size of and compare it. So we computed B, right? We computed the bytes at the current step and compare it to n minus 1, the recursive call. Oh, I don't know. We're just right there. Come on, give me your returns none. The append method doesn't work. Okay, we got that. You're comparing B, the size with sys.inset, but the size of n minus 1 was not meaningful in this context. You instead compare B with the last recorded size in list B. So we'll say if list B, we're going to if B does not equal to list B at index point -1, the last item in the list, we're going to return if B does not equal to, we're going to list B dot append B return list B, else just return list B, like so. None. Dang it. Dang it. Your code is almost there, however, there's a small issue with the return logic. When the size doesn't change, you should return this B, but it's important to ensure the recursive call consistently returns the list as well. When the size doesn't change, you're returning list B immediately, which works, but the recursive call might miss when if that return is n equals 0 isn't the base case. You should ensure that the recursive function always returns list B whether or not the size changes. Always return list B after appending or checking the size. Okay, so we need to say also here, right here, return list B. We need to always be returning list B. In every approach. So now we just get an empty list. This just returns an empty list. So we don't want to do that. Boom, like so. Oh, we're close, I don't know. Your code looks good overall, but there's still a slight issue with the flow. Redundant if list B. You don't need to check if list B before comparing size. Recursive calls to get the size change always returns a list, whether empty or containing size. So list B will always be a list. The check if is redundant, unnecessary check for -1. If list B is empty, it won't affect the logic since it's the same list. By no means. It won't affect the logic since an empty list means no size change has been recorded yet. So there's no need to perform the check within the if list B. Instead, just directly check the size. Such improvements. Remove the if list B check since list B will always be a list. Yeah, okay. I was trying to see if there was stuff in it, but if B does not equal to ensure that list beat up and only happens if the size changes. This would be sys. No code. Looking away, I'm looking away. Okay. So I am not sure what to check b not equal to. In your scenario, you're interested in checking if the size of the list has increased. To do this, you need to compare the current size, which is b, which is from the size of the previous step, the value from your cumulative list of sizes. You want to compare last one's previous recursion list b minus 1. That's what I did. That's what I did, I thought. I had that. Let's go back. Yeah, list b minus 1. But now it gives me an index error because you can't. So what did it try to give me up here? If n equals 0, return list. If list b is equals to get size change of n minus 1 times none. If not, list b, or so you want me to say this, if not list b or b, then append. Like this. Weird. So what's it pulling right now? Weird. We were at a handicap this whole time. I don't know. All right, let's just move on. This was interesting. I don't know. Whatever. I'm sorry if that was a waste of time to you guys. Like, I really do apologize, but I mean, we got some more practice with recursion, even though we were kind of handicapped that whole time with like not even really what was being intended to. So in our original function here, you guys, we got this right. We wrote it right the first time in like 5 minutes. We should have just moved on. But we get these numbers, which are the correct ones from the previous one. 56, 88, 120, 184, 288, 248, and 312. Okay. Let's see here. Go down, go down, go down. Modify the experiment from code fragment 5.1 in order to demonstrate that the Python's list class occasionally shrinks the size of its underlying array when elements are popped from a list. Modify. Okay, let's just work on this one and then we'll move on to we'll dive into chapter 6 and get into some reading and then move on to small business manager. Yeah, so we got a solution, but it wasn't even correct. It was like, I don't think it really knew what we were trying to go for. And so I mean, let's see here. Let's take this, copy it, put it here, go here. Let me show you my answer. Boom. All right. Yeah, so, I mean, let's just move on. I think it's just, we're kind of beating a dead horse here. Okay. So 5.3 wants us to modify this function, or this program we wrote. Right? And 5.1 here. All right, so let's think here. It wants us to modify, in order to demonstrate that Python's list class occasionally shrinks when elements are popped from a list. Chain range 6. I think it wants us to like do it just like over like manually, but I'm not sure if there's any way to show this like literally. I mean, we could say range of 26 26 0 26 1 with a step of -1, right? So we're going to go down every single time. Starting from 26 to 27, right? And so what we're going to do is from range of 27, okay, it's going to be 27. We're going to get size of data, length data. Append none. What did it say before? For in the range of n? So I'm confused. Is the what's happening? We're getting the length of data, but data is an empty list. But why? We're only appending a single none for every iteration. Prints it, appends, comes here, prints it, appends. Oh, because it's printing first and then appending after each print. So we want to take 27. We want to get the length of data. So at this point, k is going to be 26. So let's do this. Let's say we're getting the length of the data list here in A, but it's going to be initially 0. So we need to, first we need to have values inside to go from backwards. So we need to come here, append data.append none times k. So the first one's going to be 26. We'll append none 26 times. And then we're going to take the length of the data list, get the size of the data list, and then make a print statement, and then do it again all the way down as we pop stuff off. So I can't do none and int. So we have a data list, and we say for k, we're going to go data dot extend none by 27. Yeah, that gives me the same error. How can I just throw 27 values of none in here initially? Times k. So I'd have to put data here, go none times k, like so. Take the length of that, get the size, print as we go down. There we go. So we start off with 272 at 27, so we need to go take this to 26. Okay, so it's clear. Woo. And let's see what we get now. Cool. So as we go down, we need to include the 1. So we need to go down to -1. Let's include 0. So as we go down now, you can see that we will we pop off at each point. Oh, that's interesting. So at each pop, it will remove it. It will go down. Or is this creating a new list and generating it? Hey, Toast Dev, thanks so much for coming in. We might be manipulating this wrong because this might be creating a new list rather than using pop. We're not using pop, we're just going down. So let's go back and take our original function here, and we need to utilize the pop method somehow. So we have range of what n I think it was here initially. So for k in range of n, we're going to initially print off 0, So where can we pop? Modify the experiment code back from 5.1 in order to demonstrate that Python's list class occasionally shrinks the size of its underlying array when elements are popped from a list. So we need to pop a data point occasionally off. How could we go about doing this, you guys? How do you think? We need to pop a data point off throughout some sort of iteration. We were going down before, but that didn't work because it wasn't demonstrating the pop method. Pop, pop. Where can we pop? So data.append none. We're appending data there. We're getting the size. let's go like this. Let's try this. If length, if A is equal to, oh, thank you so much. We got some Christmas cookies delivered by the Magic Elf here. We're gonna give him a taste test here live on stream. Oh, she's waiting for the reaction. Let's try them out. Here's the how they look. Ooh, ah. Let's give it a go. Mmm. Really good.
Out of 10?
10 out of 10. Mmm. Mmm. Was it really good? Wow. Was not expecting that. Look at that. Okay, so if A is equal to... Oh, what can we do here? How can we pop? Where can we pop? So we could try like... We could try to like... You know, determine if the length is a certain length and then just reset it back for the next iteration. Okay. And then we're going to say for we're going to, for k in range of n is 26, we're going to pop the data. We're going to pop the data. We're going to print this off and pop. We need to get size too at this point. And we need length. And then we'll set n is equal to 26 here. Now let's run this. List empty. So we can't pop in range n. List empty. So we're trying to then loop over and pop all of the values out of data. Right. In the range of n. So this is going to do it 26 times, 25 times, no, 26 times. but we don't want to pop on the last one. We only want to do it 25 times. So it'd be -1. Boom. All right, so now we get this. Hold on, pardon me. These are really good. Okay, so now we get this. We go all the way up to 26 at 312, and then we start popping all the way down from 26 down to 2. So why do we only go to 2? If I just did n here, we get the index error. Now we go down to 1. Now we want to go to 26 plus n, 27. Now we can't pop on the last 0. So we'll say we need to add in the thing here if n is equal to 0, not n, I mean if a, the length of the data, is equal to 0, we want to pass. We don't want to do anything else will pop. Boom. I still get this pop error from an empty list. But now we're still getting this though. So if a is equal to 0, we don't want to pass. We want to if data.pop. Okay, that's a good idea. Thank you. So that was a good idea, Legend. So if data, right, data.pop. Meaning that if we have data in the list still, we'll pop it off. Cool. Now if we run this, there we go. Woo! Good. Thank you, Legendowski. Awesome. Thank you so much, PJ. You too. The cookie is so good. Okay, so now we go from 0, 56, 88, 120, 184, 248, 312, right? So 312 from 25 to 26. But then we stay at 312 until we get to 16, and then we pop almost half of like the, like almost 100 values off. And then we come down to 10 and we pop another like 30 off. And then we come down to 7 and we pop 30 off. Pop like 30 off. Then, okay, interesting. So you don't go in the same reverse order. It's different when you pop. Cool. Awesome. That was that answer. A 5-3. So this one, the next one says our dynamic array class is given does not support our negative. Okay. Chapter 6 talks about stacks. Okay. Do you guys want riddle me this? You guys answer this question for real. Do you want me to go on and move on and start reading chapter 6 or about stacks, queues, and double-ended queues? It's about 20 pages. It's not that long of a chapter. We could probably get about half of it done here in the next hour. Would we, maybe even more? Would you rather go on to chapter 6 and keep going, or stop and work on the small business manager project? What do you guys want to do? Let me know. Please let me know. What would you guys rather see? Because I'm really fine with either. I'm really enjoying learning this and learning these new concepts and getting practice with them. I'm still coding and doing these problems, right? And so it's fun to keep going and learning these concepts, but also we need to, practice them and work on our actual projects too. So what would you guys rather see this evening? The small business manager project or um, the continue on to chapter 6 here? What do you guys think? For those that are new, I'll just do a quick little mention here. My name is Michael. I'm a college graduate back in 2021 with a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. I am teaching myself programming after my 9 to 5 job and especially on weekends. I'm really dedicated to learning, and I created this channel as a way to hold myself accountable and gain insight from other people, grow a community of other like minded people or people in similar situations to myself. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, please follow along. If you're enjoying the stream and enjoying the content, please consider throwing it a thumbs up or something like that. Also, if you want to chat offline and gain access to all of the study resources, such as data structures and algorithms in Python on the right side of my screen, or any of my notes or anything like that that you see on the left, it's either on my GitHub or you can just join down below in my Discord, where I have compiled all of my resources for you guys. It's completely free and yeah. So that's just my spiel. All right, we have someone that says the business manager. Okay, let's give it a go then. I'm fine with that. Let's go ahead and go. Need to do git add here, git commit. We'll say continued chapter 5 rein. Oops. Okay. Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and shift our focus then. Small business manager. All right, here we are. All right, let's work on this for a little bit. I'm excited to work on this one. We can temporarily insert a function just right off the bat for viewing items quite easily. We could just use a for loop and do it that way. But it's going to be difficult to, display all of their attributes in ways that would be understandable, for the user. I also wanted to maybe alter the actual, display that's happening when we select an item, right? So let me do an example. So let me go ahead and clear out of this. We have an item loaded in there already. Let me run my program. And so if we go into here and we go into inventory, for those that don't know, the Small Business Manager is a program we're writing which we can take in inventory items or items within the business's inventory, assign them certain attributes needed for making transactions, transition those items into for sale and transition them into sold from there, and then updating those parameters accordingly, and then eventually calculating out like income statements, cost statements, expense reports, all that kind of jazz. So it's going to be really cool when it's all put together here. We have all the features, intertwined. but we got to get there little by little. So we successfully, we can add items in. So let's just add in a few items for the sake of the stream here. Let's just do new stream item. Cost is 10. Item size is a large. Today's date, yes. Quantity, we'll say that we have 3 of these. Let's go back to inventory, add item. Item name, let's make these pants. Cost would be 20. Item size, let's say these are small. Yes, today's date, and let's say we have 3 of these as well. If we go exit, yes, you can see that we'll get all of those items now. Boom. So that was the original one that was in here from the previous day. We added in these 3, new stream item, and then we added in 3 pants, right? So we are adding in all items, and all of their, statuses are being, labeled appropriately. Now we have these placeholders here for when we can update to when they become for sale and then also sold. So they'll have like a listing price, a date listed, and when it becomes sold, they'll have a sold price and a date sold. So we can also compute math via the the sold price versus the listing price. That difference is like a discount, or we can do the cost of good versus the sold price to accumulate the actual revenue of the product, all that kind of stuff. So eventually when we, go to formulating those reports, that's what we can provide. So that being said, let's go ahead and I'm going to just drag my terminal over to my right side here, just to make it easier. And then we'll drag this over here. So currently, we have no way of actually viewing items in the system. So because I was wanting to think about, or I was thinking about, should we try to learn pandas, like pandas as PD, and try to use this in some sort of tabular format, have it be in a table with graphs, and we could use other various forms of pandas to formulate those reports and projections and all those kind of things. So it might be useful to start diving into that, which is just going to be a whole nother learning segment of its own on this channel. But once we understand pandas, I think it's a very useful module and library that could be used for like more data analysis when we get into like more biology stuff that I know about in chemistry and within my profession and stuff. So what do you guys think? Or we could just make it easy, stick with Tabulate, which is a module built into Python where we can just make simple tables. I believe I did that for my CS50P final project. Or we can simply just iterate and print using print statements and enumerate and do some sort of just a visual print to all these elements. Now, while you guys are letting me know on that front, I wanted to show you that we can, when we enter the inventory manager of this system, we can find and edit an item, right? So by pressing 2, we'll find and edit an item, and we can search by item number by pressing 1. Now we can go to our current list, and we know that we have an items 1 through 7. So if we try to say item 8, we would get error, item number, quote, 8 not found. We can press Q at any time to go back. So let's go back to the find edit by item number. So if we pressed ABC here for a alphabet, we'd get please enter an integer number. So we have all of our error checking handled appropriately. But if we say 7, boom, right now we have selected the item number 7. We have selected item number 7, but we don't really know what item number 7 is, right? We have selected it, but it's pretty difficult to, interpret if we have the correct item in our system without us having to go check the reference that that is the right item within our file. So I think at this point, we need to implement a print or a dunder stir for our class that will actually represent what this item will look like, right? So that's what we're going to do today or this evening. So here we have a repr, which represents how to actually instantiate the item again. And so that's nice. We don't really need to, we can print this and get the repr back, but, it's just kind of whatever. It's hard to read. Legendowski, since I spent about 2 years grinding up on pandas. Oh, awesome! So you'll be a great help then. It sounds like hopefully it takes some permutations of combos. Interesting. All right, so if we need to define a dunder stir method here, right? And in our dunder stir is going to take the item itself. Now, how are we going to want to establish how this is represented? Well, I want to say that it's going to be similar to the repr in a sense, but we're going to, make it look like so. Um, we'll say f string, and then we're going to go like this, and we'll say, how do we want to say this? Self dot item name. So we'll give the item name, or give the item number and name. So item number and name. Okay. We'll give the item number here, dot name. We're going to give a new line. We're then going to say well, is the repr okay? Is the repr fine? I mean, the repr is okay, but it doesn't have all of the other attributes associated with them. Because then you won't be able to know if you've changed it, right? Rather than going back and checking. So I want to know that this has been changed. So we'll say name is this. We'll go like so and say number. I always forget how to keep doing this. Like this. How do you do one f string? Whatever. We'll just go like this. Okay, number, name, number. I kind of want to have number first. Let's keep to the order that we've been in. So name, number, or number, name, item size, item size here. Right? And then we're going to wrap. I want to make sure this wraps. Right? And so at this point, we're going to go not size. Next one is cost of good. It's going to be I kind of want to represent like a dictionary object, but it's whatever. Cost of good, and then we're going to put self dot cost of good here. We're going to paste, new line. Next one is going to be date listed. Right? Next one is going to be listing price. Or this is going to be date listed, right? Well, that's all we have. We have date created. So it would be actually date created. Not that date created. And then we have active status. Self.active, right? So now we have a stir where we have number, new line, name, new line, size, new line, cost of good, new line, date created, new line, and active status, new line. Okay. Perfect. So now what we can do is go back to our function here, go to the run find edit item. We have found this item. We run edit on found item. So edit on the found item gets printed here. We say item number has been selected to edit. And then we are also going to we're going to print a new line here and then put in the item itself and print. See, now that should print this, and then on a new line print the item found. And I want that on a double new line, like so. So now if we run, press enter, inventory, find edit, item number. If we press 100, we shouldn't get that. Perfect. If we press ABC, we shouldn't get that. But if we press 7, boom. Item number 7 selected. Please select an attribute to edit. Number pants. Oh, we got some stuff wrong here. Okay. So number, this is self.item number. This is self.item name. Bippin, thanks so much for coming in and leaving a message. I like your name. What country are you from? I'm from the United States. Of America. Item number, item size, cost. Cool. So then we're going to say cost. This is 2,000 as in so this is giving us the value in cents. So we need to make sure that that is. So we need to, right, that's giving us the value in cents. So we need to make that clear to the user. That's what we save and convert value to is in total cents, but we display using dollars. So because our function for converting dollars to cents is in here. So we'd have to import that here, cents to dollars. We'd have to import this or do that conversion just right off the jump here. So we just got to divide it by 100. Like that. To report the 20. What happened here? Line 185. Okay, where? 1, inventory, find edit, item number 7. Okay, we get number 7 name, pants size, small, cost of good 20, and then we get cents, so we don't want to do that. We want to divide by 100 and return 2f. Is that it? Is that how you do two decimals? And then not cents out front. We don't want to say cents out front. We want to put a dollar sign out front. Like so. And then we'll go like this. Okay. You can make a little function to convert cents int to dollar string for displaying price. Yeah, so exactly. We have a function for converting from dollars to cents and then cents to dollars as well. But they're just within our main program here, which is where I keep all of the operational functions. But within the class for this dunder stir method, I don't want to. I could have a function. I'm trying to keep functions out of here unless they're like class methods. But I'm not really using any class methods either. Um, because one of my goals here is to kind of keep things distinct, because in my last project, the task tracker, I found that I was having too many functions overlapping between the class objects and the main program. I was pulling too many class methods and, vice versa into each. And when I changed a method in one, I was having to go back into the other program and completely rework stuff as well, or into the other file, and it just caused too much overlap. So that was my initial thinking going on, and my improvement for this project compared to the task tracker was, keep the storage of the items separate, keep the methods separate. If you're going to just one of my things, I was trying to just make the item class just be for data structure and not for data analysis, whereas all of this is data analysis. If that makes any sense. What do you guys just take on that? So right now we're just dividing by, I just put a divide by 100 and format by with two decimal places. Um, so I think is that how you do it? Inventory, find, edit, item number 7. No, that went by a lot. By 2f. What is the 2 decimal place format in Python? 0.2f. Oh. Inventory, find, edit, item number 7. Boom, just like that. Woo, perfect. Awesome. I say a display price would be a valid class method for an item. Okay, let's go ahead and put that in. I like that. Okay, so let's define def, so this would be class method. Ooh. So class method, and for those that don't know, what class methods are, um, if we want to override or update various attributes that maybe we don't want to provide to the user, um, or no, I don't know if they're restricted to the user, to the creator or not. I don't think so. But the whole idea from class methods is if you want to, enact some sort of um, overarching function to the entire class, to all instances rather than just on a singular level. Like we were just, doing some sort of um, conversion here on a singular level, on the self level, but now we can do this on the class level. So we can define, what was it, display price. Price dollars, and we'll take in the and so this will take in the class itself. Hmm. What we need to call a class method? No, I don't think it would be like a class method. Actually, we wouldn't want to do it on the class. This would just be a self method, right? Yeah, it would just be yeah, exactly. Lo, you're right there with me. We were right there on the same time. I meant a normal method because it wouldn't have access to self.cost of good, right? Exactly. So we need to access the whole. So for think about this, guys. Because we're accessing individual attributes, we're needing to access them on a self level, an individual basis with the initialization. But if we had, let's say, a list here called, like in my task tracker, what I had was a total list called items, right? If I had a list out here within my class, right? Within my class, but not within my initialization. And if within my initialization I was appending new instances into this data structure of items, right? That's what I was doing in my task tracker project, and I was getting a lot of conflicting functions and parameters. I was just getting a lot of back and forth. I was having to edit. One little change was having to make a bunch of downstream cataclysmic, effects. It was just one right after the other, and I was changing a lot more code than my small little idea was intended for. So I could, if I wanted to, somehow update this list because this is within my class but not within the initialization. If I wanted a function to update this list something or format or sort this list, I would have to call it a class method because it enacts on the item class but not on the instance base, but on the total class of the item itself. So you would have to be like, you would say like, you would do it at class method, and then you would underneath it you would define your function of, let's say, like sort items, right? And then this would have to take in the CLS or the class itself, right? And so now what we can do is, you'll see with the syntax it'll say is we can actually go CLS and access the class that we're in, right? We're in the item class, where that's where we're establishing this class method. And by doing class dot, we can access that items list, right, that's within our class. So that's how we can access this um, actual data structure that's built within our class here but not within the initialization, is by using a class method to do some sort of functionality to a something within the class but not within a initialization for a instance. Now that's just a little example. I'm not going to be using that here because I'm trying to just convert the this. So we'll say we're going to take in the self parameter. We're going to just take, we're going to return self dot cost of good divided by 100, and we're going to return this with 2. We'll turn this in a string as an f string 2.2f, right? So now what we can do is, instead of this, we can call instead of here, we'll call I don't know if I can call a function within the f string. Can you can you call a function? I don't think so. Okay. Oh yeah, because it's self dot exactly because it's within the self. So now that should do the same thing. Boom. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, unclose F string. Gotta close it. There we go. Like so. Boom. Okay, now go in inventory, find edit by item number. Item number 100 should not be found. Yep. Item number ABC should not be found. Yep. No, enter does not do anything unless we press Q. But item number 7, boom, boom, everything still works. Awesome. Hello, Angela Lopez. Thanks so much for coming in. It's so good to hear from you. How you doing tonight? All right. That's awesome. Okay, so now we are appropriately um, giving the item that is found within this, this display here. So now we can appropriately. So if we now what happens is if we update the name, right? What will happen is it should update live right in front of us. So if we say one, update name, new name, let's just say this test. Boom! Oh, yes, that's so cool. Okay, so now if we say size, we can't say ABC because it won't work. All those are the only available sizes. We can't say one, only available sizes. So we'll say large. Oh, this is so cool. All right, if you guys are following along, make sure to hit the like button for that one. That's so cool. It's updating live because of this while loop. It's giving that live update appearance because the while loop is so fast, and we are updating and displaying through that loop constantly at this point, and so it's doing those live updates in front of the user. So cool, so cool. So now if we do date created, if we want to say no, we'll use a date in the past. Let's say it's 2024 10/31 Halloween. Boom! It's updated. Okay. And then we say set active status. Okay, we don't have that function yet. Okay. Awesome. How is the date being added? What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate a little bit further? I'm more than happy to share with you how I'm doing the dates, but um, so right now, what I have, because I'm either allowing the user to enter, just to have a default of the current date. So if they press 1 in that menu to set the date created, um, it just uses the current date from date time. It just says, okay, like as if they had recently gone to the store, they bought the item, and then on the same day they are loading it to the system. That's the intention, right? But if they, let's say, had bought the item, waited in some time, and then are now loading in the item to the system, and then they need to go back and reference, okay, I bought that a month ago. That is where the option 2 comes in handy because then we can override the date that is given and then set a date in the past. Um, so for instances that are being created in the dunder init method, if there's a date created that's being provided with a default of none, so if the user provides one, we are going to set it to that value. Else, we are going to just set it to the date today. That's just how we are doing it within the body of the class. Now, within our actual function here, when you add the item to the inventory, is there something that automatically adds the date? Yes, so it's exactly this. It's this right here. So now I'll show you is when we go ahead and I'll go, let's take this down. Let's take this down. So run inventory. When we run the add item function, we run this date created is equal to set date created function. I wrote this set date created function so I can just reuse it over and over again when I go to update the item, like for the edit screen or to initiate an item, right? So so in my set date created function, what I'm doing is down here, I'm just using my create menu right? It's functions within functions. That's how I've been doing things. It might seem a little confusing, but once you start to get this idea that you're just calling functions kind of like menus, you're going from this screen to this screen to this screen to this screen, and each screen is just a function. That's how I'm kind of treating it. This menu is a function. Well, then if I need to go to a different menu, I'm gonna call that function for that menu. That's how I'm treating functions. As I'm going from screen to screen, frame to frame, frame to frame is a different function. Um, so sorry if that's annoying. I said that a lot. So the set date created function, we use that create menu function that we wrote above, where we have a prompt which uses date and we have a list of values that we can select from. So we say if the user selects 1, meaning that we want to use the current date, we just return none, right? And by returning none, by default, we set the date to today by default based on our class, right? It's just based on the data structure. If we are returning none for this value, which is by default none, then we're going to set it to today. Else, the user presses 2. No, we don't want to use today's date. We want to use a custom date in the past, probably, right? You can't buy an item in the future. We're going to go ahead and prompt the user. I'm going to remove this clear terminal statement because I don't want to actually clear the terminal at that point. We're gonna do another while loop just to continually ask the user for the correct format. Now they have to enter into this format unless that's a specific format for the strip time. So in order for them to override the date, rather enter in their own custom one, they have to do year, 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 month, month, day, day. Now we do a try and except statement to catch within that loop, the while loop, to make sure they are entering in that format. So we ask the user to enter in that format. We try within the try statement to convert that format into a strip time. If we do it, we're going to return it. If we don't, meaning that if we fail somewhere to convert this time into a date time strip time element, then we'll get thrown a value error, right? Except if we're given a value error, meaning that they did an incorrect format. It cannot do this conversion. It's incorrect values. We will clear the terminal and then print invalid date required, and then I'll continue the loop again and have them print in a appropriate date, right? Did you try and catch when a user puts in a future time or date? No, I let them, if they're going to put in a future time, they must be doing it for some reason, right? So I'm just letting them do it. Like it doesn't seem necessary to really bound them by any means to not putting in a date at an item at the future date. But let's just like say for some odd reason that they just have an item on hand that they maybe are donating or giving to the business, and then they're not just putting it, and they're going to say, okay, I want to preload this item in my system, but I'm going to set the date created for in the future, right? As in just like and then make it, and then I'll come back and I'll set it active at that time. Maybe I'll have a function that will, if it's in a future date, set it to false, right? The active status to false. Would that be a good idea? So if they enter in a future date, we'll automatically set active status for that item to false until we reach that date, and then those items then become active. So that'd be a good idea we could do, right? So that's interesting. But I didn't think like there was any reason to really bound or limit the user from putting in a future date because, a business owner very well could just preload an item and put in a future date, right? My blanket's stuck on my chair. There we go. All right, let's continue on here. All right. Sorry if I'm kind of jumping all over the place with the small business manager and these projects. There's no real structure to my workflow. I kind of just am like, oh, I want to add this today, and then whatever comes from that, let's go work on that. So, unless I don't really have I probably should write out things I want to accomplish, but I also feel that kind of defeats the purpose of it being kind of fun and random. Okay. So what were we doing? Let's go ahead and see. 1, enter inventory, find edit item number 7. Okay, we get the item numbers, and we can successfully override them if possible, if needed, right? So I also want to, we need to go to our run add item, run edit item. So after each of these calls, when they call this, we need to run save file for type equals items, right? That's our save file, right? So save file type equals quote items. Yeah. So when after this point, if we override these instances, so let's try this out now. Let's go 1. So inventory, find, edit, item number 7. If we edit item number name to test, change, boom. Let's set the item size to extra large, and let's set the cost 3 to 1,000,000, boom. So by setting the cost there, we've set it in dollars, right? So when we save, are we then converting this number from 1,000,000 into cents? So let me change the cost back to $30. So now this should become 3,000 cents when we save, right? I want to make sure that that conversion is happening appropriately, because we want to be converting everything down back into cents, because we're not handling things in floats, because floats might round improperly when dealing with money or currencies. We're not importing any currency modules to handle currencies, so we're just converting ourselves from dollars into cents. I've already manually wrote in functions for detecting if there's a period within the for like a dollars dot cents format, and broke that down via split method, right? So now when I save this, so now because I added the save file function here at case 6, when I press 6, we should see that this should save. But I'm going to set this to the date in the past. So we're going to set the date created for to no. Date is 2024-10-31. Boom, that was accepted. Now if you press 6, boom, okay, that should save, okay? Now if we press find, edit, item number 7, test, XXL 30, and October. Woohoo! Nice, it's saving. Okay, but I want to see though, because we added that save, technically it's still within our system, so technically actually that save didn't do anything, right? If you think about it, the save file happened, but all it did was write to the file. It wrote to our items file, but the program stayed running within our computer. So it actually never had a chance to crash at this point and prove that the save worked. So what I need to do is crash before quitting the program or going back to the main menu and then exiting appropriately. If I crash here by pressing Control C, or by just seeing here, we can just see right off the bat that changed. So I crash, boom, and we see that was still saved. So we can prove this even further. Let's go like this. Let me show you guys another way to prove this. So I'll run the program. 1, inventory, find and edit item by item number. So let's do item number 7. Now what I'll do is I'll bring up the file so you can directly see that this will change once we press 6 on this menu. We'll change the item number to test 2. We'll just make it really obvious. We'll make the size to extra small, right? And then we'll make the cost 30, we'll make it 40 this time. So we also want to make sure that this changes to 40,000 on the save, which, hint, hint, wink, wink, this previous one changed to 3,000 instead of the 30.00. So wink, wink, it's working appropriately. I'm just hinting. So now, if we press 6 at this point, you should see this. I'm going to do the date created. We're going to do the date created. We're going to set it to today, rather. So, oh, we have a problem. So that is a bug, right? If you have a date in the past and try to update with a new day that's today, it returns none. But for an object that's already created, interesting. We have a bug. We have a bug. Well, okay, that's fun. We'll solve that. So if the object is already, Angela, this is kind of like what we talked about earlier, is if the object is already created and loaded into the system, you go to change the date to a past date, and then you try to update that date to now the present date, right? That object is not being recreated and thus having an override of the none to the current date, but that object is already created, so now it's just being returned as none. So we need to have that set, okay, in a function. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll say that'll just be none for now. We'll say, actually, we'll make it set date created. We'll use, we'll set it back. We'll set it to today, 2024, 12/21. Boom. So now, if I press 6, as soon as I press 6 here, you guys, this line number 8 in our file, will change and update for these parameters. Ready? Fingers crossed. And keep track that the $40, 40.00, should be converted appropriately into its cents amount as 4,000 cents for USD, right? So 6. Boom! Costco, guys. Boom! Let's go. I love that. That's so funny. Okay. Nice. So that updated appropriately. Awesome. Does it work if I change it to an even older date if already there? Yeah, let's try that. So edit item number 7, date created. Let's change this to yes. So that's the bug we have to fix. So date created, we'll use no. We'll set it to like 10 or 2024 10/31. Now if we set date created again, use no, set it to 9/30/2024. Oh, whoops, sorry, invalid date format. 2024 09/30. Okay, yeah. So it does work if we double back in time. Seth Johnson, thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate you leaving a message. It's so awesome to hear from you. What are you doing, bro? Is this building an inventory list? Yeah, so we are currently, building on a few projects that I built. In the past, I built an inventory list, a tracker. In the recent past, I built a task tracker, which actually used, date time module to track tasks over dates as the program was loaded. We also implemented loading and reading of files and saving of files, so we can keep track of that data over the course of time. And now we're leveling up one further and actually creating a small business manager where we can load in those items in an inventory system similar to the ones we've already wrote. We can track those items for those attributes as they're being converted into sales for the business owner, and then we can report on those items along with we'll add an expense class, and we can report on those items and expenses into formalized business reports for the user. May says, do you have any recommended video tutorial to learn DSA in Python? Yeah, so for those that are new, in the beginning of my streams, right now we're on 2 hours and 50 minutes of streaming, so almost 3 hours, but at the beginnings, the first half of my stream, I read aloud various textbooks to further improve my knowledge in Python. on other various resources online. So right now we're reading Data Structures and Algorithms in Python. We're on page 250 of 770. So we've been, we've read aloud audiobook style live on every word live, loud, aloud, live on stream for you guys. And for me, we've been reading this together live on stream and working through all of the reinforcement practice problems at the end of the chapter. So if you're interested, let me go ahead and pull up on my GitHub. I share the DSA Pi folder. This repo I created is my notes, my personal notes on all of the chapters that I've read so far live on stream for DSA and Python. I've also have, I've been taking live chapter notes, and then I moved to MD format where we can view them in markdown format, which is really quite neat. So now I have all my notes really organized here by section in the book for chapters, and I have live coding examples and images inserted into some of these. And then for chapter 5 we have, it looks like this. I need to go ahead and update chapter 5 a little bit more for its contents, but it's a little bit more on long data structures, less images, less code. This is more analytical and understanding. But yeah, so this is a live repo on my GitHub. You can view it for yourself and have on your own system and copy it over. I also provide all of the data structures and algorithms books I'm working on, such as this one, DSA in Python, as well as the Python Crash Course PDF in the background, Fluent Python, as well as Machine Learning in Python. I share those in the Discord link below. The Discord link below is just a compilation of all of my study resources that I'm using live on stream and sharing them with you guys, and also providing a location for all of us to interact offline. So sorry about that word vomit there, but I wanted to make sure everyone's on the same page. We always get new people coming in and popping in, and I appreciate you guys being here and spending time with me. And if this sounds like something that's interesting to you, I'm a college graduate. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company for the past 3 years, and I'm currently a scientist too, a mid-level scientist and formulation chemist for that company. I'm enjoying that, but I'm trying to learn new skills and further push myself to get better in my academic area and education. And so by doing so, rather than maybe going back to school, I've decided to, live stream all of my progress and really show a, video journal kind of series of me improving little by little, day by day, project by project, and sharing that with you guys as either motivation, inspiration, or just to hang out and gain friends or network with people. So obviously, if that sounds like something interesting and cool, please throw the stream a thumbs up. It means so much that you guys support and you guys are really enjoying this, and follow along and join the Discord below. Yeah, my GitHub is linked below. Um, so yeah, May, I'm reading this book aloud every day. So just join the streams, follow along, and we'll be learning this together. Maybe watch back on some of the other streams, go through the repo. I'm probably gonna go through, make some videos for these problems eventually when I get better at DSA overall and get a more, maybe probably when I finish the book, get a better understanding. Yeah, so this is definitely the right place to be. Dat Steel, I just finished my Python game. Awesome, Dat Steel. You should definitely throw it in the Discord project share so we can all check it out and see a video demo. That would be great. I can't wait to see it. I remember was that you that was sharing off the little rocket, sprites and stuff? Those look great. Seth says, awesome, bro. I'm currently teaching myself Python as well. That's great. Yeah, I've been learning for about 6 months, and for the past 3, I've been really, really dedicating myself to teaching, and not teaching, but teaching myself. This is a peer-to-peer environment. We are equals, you and me here learning together. Like I say, is take everything I say don't take anything I say at face value. Take it with a grain of salt, because I am learning this too, and we're doing this together. This is my live, this is a raw, unedited, just me grinding through these challenging topics, really showing the reality of what it's like to try to learn these independently. It's an old spaceship game. Basically, each spaceship shoots each other until your health is 0. The winner is announced. Awesome. That sounds so cool. You should totally share it in the Discord. Yeah, Datsdale, if we ever try to jump into some pie game, I'll definitely be coming to you for some help. Yeah, my GitHub is Michael Deming, but my middle initial D in between. So Michael D. Deming is my GitHub. I might recreate that one snake game where you go around eating apples. That'd be awesome. Yeah, Scripts or Serpent. If you ever decide to make that game or want some, further assistance or just collaboration or something, join the Discord below, and also follow along to the channel so I can continue to hear from you. It'd be great to hear you back again tomorrow. I'm a clinical mental health counselor. That's really awesome. We definitely need those people in our society today. Thank you for doing that, and that's really great. Well, I got back into coding. I'm a little slow sometimes while I'm coding. I'm literally stop and sit there thinking about how to do it. Sometimes I write slow, sometimes fast. But yeah, no worries. You'll see oftentimes I'll sit here and look at my projects and be like, where should I go from here? And I'll sit here for about 3 minutes, and then finally then kick going. I like getting my thoughts kind of all together at first. I think you may have deleted that channel. I don't see it. Are you talking to me, Steel? Hey, John Davia. Davila, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much for leaving a message and saying hello. I did create a script earlier. 400 plus lines of code took me an hour and 30 something minutes. Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds real good. All right, let's continue on here. Steel, if that was for me, let me see. The Discord, it should be the bottom channel is showcase. So just go into showcase and create a new thread. You should have project showcase in there. You can create a thread and give a demo of. It doesn't show up. Is it not visible for everybody? I thought it is. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see here. Permissions. Touch files. Add reactions. All right. Interesting. Yeah, the project showcase, it should be there. It's in the showcase. It's the thread project showcase. It should be visible. Let me know if you guys can't see it. I shared my task tracker project in it, um, so as a thread. Okay. What's next here? So we need to look at that set date created function. Okay, so if the user enters 1 here, we need to return, um, if the user enters 1, right, we need to do a check to see if this item is already created. I mean, we could just go like this. We could just return datetime.date today. Right? If they press 1, just do the current date, right? And so really you don't even need none here, but it just provides the opportunity in case someone else is using this class in their own way, right? It just makes it, we are overriding that specifically here. but you know the class has the option for someone else to have a default none. Okay. Angela and Dat Steele, for those that are in the Discord, this is actually really good. What do you guys actually see? Um, what do you guys actually see in the Discord? Um, I've been getting back into ethical hacking, cybersecurity, and all that stuff. Oh, that's really cool. I also don't see any project channels there. Ah, I posted a screenshot. Okay, let me see. Hmm. Weird. Project Showcase should. Edit category. Permissions. It's not private. Everyone can view it. Create events. Oh. Yeah, I swear I have it. Dang it. Let me know if that's fixed. Well, maybe that's why no one has seen any. Because this is what it is for me, you guys. I have Project Showcase here at the bottom. Below. Right? I'm not able to see your notes. I see the code examples, but not the notes from the book. Yeah, on my GitHub, let me check. Let me check here. So more DS Algo, chapter 5, chapter 5 notes. Oh, they're there. I see them on my GitHub right now. See, I have edit category, permissions. It's not private. Anyone can view. How about now? I can see the project channel. Maybe close your HTML, CSS. Maybe it's just too far down. Like close some of your channel tabs. It should be showing. And if you're looking for my notes in the Discord, I don't have them in the Discord. I have them associated with the repos on my GitHub. These are just, I have the links to like, you know, I have the Harvard CS50P, which just gives you a step-by-step of how to get started. I have, you know, this is for the Python crash course. I'm going to convert these over to forums rather than text channels so we can have it more differentiated. But yeah. Um, Okay, John says he can see it, so just try to maybe close a channel and it might be at the bottom. I don't see showcase category either. Really? All right. There you go. I tagged everyone on it just now. Let me know what that did. You guys have to follow channels. Click on the server name and click show all channels. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, we'll say make sure to show all channels in the server name settings. So okay. Awesome, awesome, cool. Yeah, I guess you have to just kind of override and show all the channels. Some of them might be hidden by default. Cool. Awesome. Well, that would make sense why I had no reactions from you guys on the project. I was like, where's everybody at? Just some people can't see it. Oh, that's funny. If you guys are following along to the channel, make sure to follow along and sub. We've been growing really rapidly, and it's been so awesome seeing the growth and everybody, um, really enjoying the community that we're building together here. This is not even just about me, it's about all of us together learning together as a group. So it's just really awesome. We are at 549. We are one away from 550. Oh, it's getting hot in here. Gotta start losing layers. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I should by default. Um, should I by default? Is it my fault? Can I make it so that all people see them by default? Server settings, onboarding, default channels. Oh, it's my fault. Sorry, you guys. It's my fault. I have it not selected as a default channel. Uh-oh. Oh, I say I'm not good at Discord. I grew up in like TeamSpeak era, Xbox Live. Discord was not around when I was growing up. Xbox Live was all I was big in, and then it kind of was like TeamSpeak for a second, and then Discord came out. But Xbox Live was the chat, party chat. Okay. Okay, so what's next? So now we need to make sure because we overrode um, that select one to just return the date time today rather than none. So what we'll do is we'll select one here, yes. Um, Inventory, let's add a new item and make sure it can be added. So tester, 10, medium, use today's date, yes, quantity, 2. Okay, let's make sure that's saved. So let's go. All right, cool, that's saved and use today's date, nice. So now if we go inventory, find, edit, item number 9, boom, that brings those up. If we go set date created to use today's date, no, we want to use the date in the past of 2024 10/31 Halloween. That sets it right there to 10/31, overrides it, boom. If we want to set date created back to today, boom, right back to today. Cool. Yes. Woo! Let's get the lava lamp a shake. Oh, it's lava in. It's doing its thing here. Ooh. Ha. Look at that. Oh, look at that. We need to get like a big one. I want to get like a foot glass one where the glass is like a foot big or like 2 feet. They just take up a lot of like energy though, I think. Hey, General Talks, welcome back. Script Serpent, he says, hey Michael, do you have an actual PC or a laptop? I'm a little confused due to all the apps at the bottom and how the tabs you close out temporarily. Yo, I have a laptop. I use, this is Mac OS, Mac software. I have a MacBook Pro M3 Pro. I opted for instead of the 18 gigabyte base RAM, I upgraded to the 36 gigabyte base RAM because I knew I'd be doing some streaming recording along with programming, along with video editing and stuff. So I thought I wanted, a little bit more RAM so I could have more tabs open and stuff and not run as not limit myself as much. So I did go for the upgraded RAM to 36 or whatever it was, um, for the M3 Pro, MacBook Pro. That is what I have. But yeah, so to quickly close stuff out, I use Command Q. So like you can press Command Q to just close out whatever program you're on, and then you can also just right click and you'll see all your recent programs, and that's how I just quickly swap between programs. And VS Code I have autosave on, so it just auto saves and everything. But yeah, so I just press Command Q to like quickly, so I'll load up like the DSA Pi. I'll press Command Q here and I'll just, oh, well, it just quit out of it quits out of the entire instance of whatever it was. But yeah, so I have autosave on, so it's okay. Seth, awesome, says found the notes and joined the Discord. Yeah, so I will what I'm going to I work on the Discord like every once in a while. Like after the streams, I try to. I'm going to update the book sections to be threads, right? So right now we have the books here, Python Crash Course. We already read Python Crash Course live on stream. If you guys want to see that, I'm currently uploading the solutions to the try it yourself practice problems within the text. So I just uploaded one today. So if you're interested in seeing the solution to the one today, go check that video out. But yeah, so I'm going to convert these to threads similar to I have the Harvard CS50P one, and so yeah, it'll be nice to have that like organization and everything. People can create threads for questions or things that they have and all that jazz. Yeah. How do you create a new thread? Oh, yeah, it's right here. Yeah. So I'm gonna create some threads, and then like I said, like you said, is I will push direct links for my notes. Like here, I do have a direct link for my GitHub notes for the DSA algo. So yeah, everything should be here in the Discord for you guys. Thanks so much for joining. We got a few people that joined today. Awesome. Did we cross over 950 on the channel, or 550? I mean, 950 would be crazy, right? 550. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys. 550. Do, 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 do. 550. Angela Lopez, Apple products are so expensive in my country. Oh yeah, I bet they probably have quite a markup. They're expensive in the United States, that's for sure too. Um, Apple does have a pretty good deal. Now, I'm not advertising or suggesting anybody do this, but if you do have the Apple Card, you can have 0% APR or financing on, a new laptop or something. So obviously be responsible, but I did take advantage of that. And what I did is I had the money already, for the computer, and I just threw it in Apple stock or in a high yield savings account instead of just making the purchase up front all at once. If I was going to have no interest, I just put it in Apple stock, and then I paid the payments, and at the end of the year I had a little bit of return on the money that I would have spent on the computer. But if I had 0% financing, I might as well gotten a little bit of a stock market gain or a high yield savings gain because the rates were so good. It made sense at that time. Just you can use those little business things to your advantage, but obviously it gets very tricky. You be responsible. You have to make those monthly payments, or things obviously can get bad, but you got to be smart with it. Seth says, Harvard CS50 has helped me learn really quick. Yes, awesome. Seth, if you're also looking for some additional help, I would highly, highly suggest taking a peek at the Python Crash Course book. I provide a PDF in the Discord. This book really fills in all of those gaps left by CS50P. It really goes over all the methods, and CS50P kind of introduces them but doesn't really go into detail about maybe how they work or why. This helps you give an understanding and uses examples, really basic, simple examples, dog, cat, car, just very simple, elementary, but you need that to kind of solidify those examples of loops, functions, all that stuff. So this does a great job of solidifying those beginner concepts that CS50P kind of touches on. Serpent says, I know a lot about Discord, so I know how to fix certain things and all that. Oh, awesome. I'll have to ask you for some advice then. I'm always messing around with it, trying to fix what I screwed up. Do you have any ideas for what I should code next? Like, my brain scrambles pretty quick with all the ideas popping up, but I know what to decide. Yeah, I definitely, like I oftentimes suggest, is to find something with some real world application because it just makes it easier to sit in front of your computer and have that drive and willingness to actually do it. So for me, the small business manager is me and my girlfriend. We run a little small business where we, resell some vintage clothing that we, I like to curate and find and provide at a very, very nice, affordable price for people and for our customers. And so I am currently managing all of that inventory by hand, and we're having to log it all by hand and transact it all by hand. And if I just had a system that could manage all these dates and informations and generate the reports for me, well, that would be extremely useful. So, find a need, like in robots, that old movie they say like see a need, fill a need, or whatever. It's really true. And for engineering in any instances, you find a need to fill a void and fill it. So whatever is going on in your current life that you can find could improve via a computer system, try to make it start small. Like make a task tracker, make something that can improve your life currently, and then go from there. Right? That's a great way to start. Seth says, just downloaded the book as well. PDF drive download. Just started reading. Awesome. Yeah, this one is super great for getting those gaps filled from CS50P. And then use the try it yourself videos I'm making and I'm uploading it for extra help on those solutions. Give them a go yourself first. Obviously, you want to challenge yourself and try to figure them out. They're pretty simple to start out with, and you definitely could be able to do them. But if you get stuck, definitely reference those solution videos I'm making. General Talk says, after reading that, you can try Python Trick and Python Fluent. I'm currently in Python Trick. Yeah, exactly. So it's oftentimes recommended to dive into Fluent Python. This is the next book after. We're going to dive into Fluent Python really, really soon. I think I'm going to start trading off DSA, data structures and algorithms in Python with Fluent Python on and off, just to help break up some of the monotony of the stream and get some new topics introduced. But Fluent Python really helps you dive into more intermediate and advanced coding in Python and be more fluent, obviously, as the title states. Okay. Let's keep going here. Thank you guys so much for all the comments and for liking the stream and following along. I really enjoy the participation we've had today. You guys have been really awesome. Thank you so much for all of the support. Just helps to let other people find the stream and grow our community even further. It's really great. Okay, so now that's working appropriately. We are able to add new items, and we are able to, update those items and view the updates happening live in front of us, which is super cool. Actually, that was a big improvement on the program today, right? So item number 7 not found. Why is item number 7 not found? Huh. What's going on here? I think it's just my terminal. I need to relaunch the terminal here. Yes. Oh, what's broken here? What did I break? Because I deleted this and it did not like that. So my load files, it's not working here. What happens if I Q, main menu, exit? What happens if I exit? Oh, it deletes. So something happened here when I lost this file. When I removed it from the current queue, it did not like that. So what happens if I run, go 1, inventory, add, test, 10, medium, yes, 10, go exit, yes. Okay, that brings all 10. If I remove this file, run it, yes, inventory, find, edit, item number 10, we get it back. So what was going on there? What was going on there? That was strange. If you want, I can add you on Discord, and if you ever need help managing the server, then I don't mind. Make your buddy script for cybersecurity because he wants to learn an ethical hack. Sorry, hold on. If you want, I can add you on Discord, and you can ever need help managing the server, then I don't mind. But I also made a buddy a script for cybersecurity, and he wants. Awesome, yeah, that sounds great for sure. Yeah, join the Discord, and we can network and talk all offline on the Discord. That sounds great. Angela, you referring to the features that we added today? Yep, I'm thinking to read Fluent Python next. How is your live? Yeah, it's going great so far. We added in a really cool feature here for updating these items and actually displaying them. We added in this display price here for the stirred under stir method that we added as well. It's really good. So we just had a little bit of glitch going on though, where I removed the item, where I removed the file. It was still within our system here, but we could not load back into it. But now we can, which is interesting. I'm not sure what was going on there. Yeah, Serpent, the Discord is linked down below in the description. It's the you can add me from there, but it's the channel. That's the Discord server where I compile all of my study resources for everybody to use and learn as well and follow along. Okay. Oh, I think it's because we closed out of the system. I think it's because we did this. We exited here and we tried to run again. Oh, no. So it's weird. Oh yeah, add me directly. It's just you just look me up right here on the right side as the founder of the server, right here. Oh, I was just responding to your comment. You said this was huge with the eyes and the eyes emoji. So I was just I was just responding to that. Okay. What's next? What's next? What's next? So we need to have a function. Let's go back. Main menu, exit. Yes, let's go get add main get add. We'll do get commit. We'll do here and we'll say added visual display for item editing. Updates are live. Cool. And then we'll awesome. All right, what is next, everybody? What is next? So when we enter the program, we have inventory. We can add items. We can find and edit them. We need to view. I haven't decided, you guys. What do you guys think about this? So we have an inventory menu and we have a transactions menu. I don't want the user to get confused by thinking that a transaction menu is an expense transaction, or should it be? Should the transactions menu house the conversion from items into sales, and it should house the transactions of expenses taking place. Is that sure where it all should be, like add or convert sale, like would be a transaction, and then add expense would be a transaction, like add sale, add expense, or convert to sale, or for sale. Right. So we do need to keep that in mind. Huh. I'm going to run to the restroom really quick and grab another refill on my drink. So please feel free to just stand by really quickly. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back, you guys. Um, General Talks says, I mean, like individual topics I separate a lot, which topics to learn and what projects to make. Awesome. Yeah. So the program is not just for inventory. No, it's not. This is going to eventually be for hopefully expenses as well. All right. Cool. So, really quickly, I want to just add in a function for. So really quickly, let's just go like this. Let's do before we kind of sign off for today, and we'll definitely be back tomorrow. So if you guys are here and not following along to the stream or to the channel, please follow along so you guys can join back. I love having you guys here with me working on this stuff. I'll be back tomorrow. I've been streaming every day for the past like 2, almost 3 weeks, so we've got a good streak going. So we want to do the not add item. Here we go. run view inventory. So we need to do the def run view inventory function. So this is going to take in that we're going to do a user input is equal to a create menu function that we have, and for our prompt is going to be please select a filter. Right, and then our list of items are going to be a quote, our list of options are going to be all. It's going to be our first option, all items. Our second option is going to be for sale items. And then our third option is going to be sold items. Right? So this is going to create a while loop within this create menu function. It's going to respond for the user input. So we're going to say if we're going to match case or match user input to the following cases. Case quote 1 is equal to is all items, so we're going to run view all items. View all items function. If the case is matched for quote 2, we are going to run the view for sale items. Actually, we're just going to do the view all items, or view items with the type equal to quote for sale items. Right? We're going to make this view items function. View items, and we'll do type is equal to quote items, all items, and then we'll match a case for quote 3, saying we also need a main menu. Match case 3 is going to be a view items function with a type equal to quote sold items, right? And then case 4 is going to be we're going to run, so edit item, run inventory. Run inventory. Which puts me here to the view again. So this will be case 4 is inventory menu, right? Just like we have here. Case 5, run inventory back to inventory menu is the key. Okay. So here is back to inventory menu. Okay, case 4 is going to be back to inventory menu, so we're going to save. We don't need to save because this is just displaying, so we need to just do run inventory function. There. Perfect. Um, that's why I think it's important to follow a book or a course so I don't get too lost. General talks, yeah. Yeah, I just don't want to suffer like that. Michael, I will DM you the idea later. Maybe I can attract more beginners, although I'm a beginner myself. Awesome, no worries. Yeah, for sure. DM me your way. Awesome. Sounds great, script. I'll check that out later after the stream. No, all good, General. You're fine. Okay, so now we need to create a function called view items for the sold items, right? So this is going to be def view items. It's going to have a type, which is going to be an int or a stir, I mean. So if stir, so we'll have a tuple here, options or types is equal to a tuple for all items. Oop. For sale items, and then sold items, right? So if type not in types, raise of value error and say type not in types. Not in required types. Okay. That raises that value error if they don't provide the right type. So now we say if type is equal to quote all items, we're going to call what are we gonna do? For item in all items dictionary, we're going to print the for item number and item in all items dot items method. We're going to print the item number, and we're going to print the item name, or we're going to print the item. So this is going to print a stir representing each object for number all the way down. Item dot item name. Okay, so that's that. So elif type is equal to quote for sale items. We're going to pass elif type is equal to quote item type. I'm going to make this item type so we don't reuse that same keyword. Item types. So item type here. Item type. Item type. No, item type, item types right here. Okay, cool. So item type, item types, item type. For item number, item in all items, we want to enumerate over these. So this is equal to sold item. Pass as well, just for now. So now what we can do, what's up? Was out for quite some time and am back. No worries, Tenmei. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate you. Script Serpent, wait, it isn't allowed in the server to post scripts I made or no, just wondering. I also like to subscribe with post notifications. Awesome, thanks so much. Yeah, feel free to, if it's going to take up a lot of like a lot of space in the chat and it's kind of more off topic, we have an off topic, general chat, so feel free to post that in there. But if it's gonna like cause anything to happen, let's like refrain from posting things that are gonna disrupt things. But yeah. Maybe like a screenshots or something are fine. Okay, so we're not, what's going on here? We still have an error happening here for types, item types. Right, so now, why are we still having an error here? Oh, whoops, like that. So now we can print all items. It'll print all the items, right, in item type. So now what we can do is we run view inventory. We'll run view items for all types. Made some tools for my educational purposes, but all my scripts in Python are files. So I mean, I guess I can post some files on certain scripts. You should definitely post the scripts and stuff to GitHub first, and then people can just look at the code and read them without having to actually download any files. So consider doing that first, actually. That way people feel more comfortable reading your stuff rather than having to download maybe a suspicious file. So we're all done. Okay, so now if we run this, yes, inventory, view, all, type, oh, this, control M. There we go. All right, let's try now. Inventory, view inventory, all items. Boom, there we go. So that is a good start, right? That shows all of the items, right, in the inventory. So that's a good start. Script Serpent says, I don't know if you have to download the file because they're .py. Yeah, if they're .py, you definitely have to download the file, but to actually view the code in it. And so I don't think people would probably be comfortable downloading suspicious Py files without really knowing what they did. So definitely what you should do is consider making a GitHub account and then publishing that file to Discord to GitHub as your own repo. And then people can actually go on GitHub and just view the code right from there. Or consider just taking a screenshot, maybe. But yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Definitely look into GitHub. It's mainstream. It's pretty much everybody uses it, and it's kind of like the industry standard and stuff. So definitely would be a good idea to get into that. Cool. So now we have a view happening for all of the items in the inventory. We can clean this up a little bit by adding in some clear terminals to have this clear rather than continuing to we can clean it up. But I think this is going to be it for me today. It's 9:45 on a Saturday. I'm going to watch some shows with my girlfriend before going to bed, and I'll come back tomorrow, guys. We're going to do a stream tomorrow. For sure, I'll be back tomorrow, just like I am every day. Thank you so much for being here. Again, if you guys are enjoying the content you're seeing and want to, connect in the future and, offline, feel free to join the Discord and also follow along to the channel, subscribe. We're growing at a rapid rate, and it's been super fun, talking to you guys day in and day out, interacting, making a lot of new friends and colleagues and networking with you guys. We made a lot of progress on Chapter 5 today. We completed 3 of the reinforcement problems with Chapter 5, and so tomorrow we'll jump in and complete probably the remaining 4 or 5 here, and then get into Chapter 6. Or no, we actually have 12, so we'll do the remaining maybe 4 here, and then get it on Monday and do the remaining 4, and then on Monday we'll jump into Chapter 6. I made a PR on your repo. What's a PR? I'm not sure what that means. I'll make do with the screenshots. Oh, awesome. That sounds great, Script. I'll check out those screenshots. What does a PR mean? It's like a public review, peer review? That's all I kind of know from PR. But yeah, so we were able to complete, these practice problems from the dynamic arrays section, array-based sequences of Chapter 5. These were pretty easy, and we felt really comfortable with these. So tomorrow we'll get into some more, and then we'll also jump into Chapter 6 and get into some more learning. Pull request. Oh, gotcha. Cool. Just for some updated stuff. Did I have a bug or something? What's it for? I'll have to check that out. I definitely probably have areas that it can improve. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Where do I post the screenshots? Yeah, feel free to post them in, if it's in Python related, we have a Python community chat where you can post some screenshots in, or you can post them into the off-topic chat if you want to post it there. But Python community, if it's related to Python and various Python things, you probably could go there. But just use your best judgment. Pull. No bug, just an example. What does that mean? I've never had a pull request before. I'm not sure what to do with it. Oh. You had a pull request. Just a little example of using HTML image tag to change the image size. Oh, got you. Are you trying to is that what we talked about that one time for HTML image tags? Rather than using the oh, cool. That's so cool. Yeah, I'll check that out and probably will pull that for you. Awesome. I thought you were referring to a pull request for the task tracker. I was like, wow, you actually went through that task tracker and found some stuff to change. That's really good on you. That would have taken a lot more work. But yeah, for the notes, yeah, that's a great idea to use the HTML image tags rather than those embedded tags for MD Markdown. Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for doing that, SSLow. All right, you guys. I keep yapping and rambling, but we'll be back tomorrow. We made a lot of improvement here on the overall functionality of our inventory manager for our small business manager. We added in a bug fix for finding and editing items. We added in a live display feature for updating those items. We added in a view inventory function for actually viewing. We kind of started that. We will kind of polish and finish it. And then we also bug fixed some various things that we noticed along the way. And we also added in a dunder stir and a convert here for that dunder stir for representing the cost of the good. So a lot of really, really good improvement today. And, thanks you for the help, solving those reinforcement problems earlier. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much, guys. Follow along.